Hey, welcome back to Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny, and holy shit, today was like an absolute bloodbath. 4% down in the day. Like you see a handful of those every like decade, basically. Like that's how big this was. There was already people on Wall Street Bet calling it Black Tuesday. I don't know if that'll actually stick. I don't know if I quite feel that yet, but it was a pretty wild day, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what happened.
Yeah. If you like this kind of entertaining stock market content where it's two super guys trying to figure everything out, give us a like and subscribe, and hopefully your account is still okay right now. Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. Now, this happened because of CPI numbers, but first, Vinny, I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart of today. You tell me where you think the numbers were released.
I'm gonna go with the giant red bar for 2000, Alex.
Tis correct. Let's
Yeah,
look
wow.
at the daily here. So here, let me move my face. Volume, that's the most important thing. All right. So look at that big scary red bar.
That is a big scary red bar.
Tis a big scary red bar. So this is at 200 moving average. Obviously, we tipped up against it here. Everyone was saying, no. We made a higher low, therefore we're going to go up. And I was saying, it's on descending volume, dudes. Not good. So we had a very, very high rejection day. Like you said, 4%. That's a shit ton. That doesn't happen that much.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Qs.
I think the number was like 20 since 2000 or something like that. It's really that rare.
Yeah, so Qs, same chart. Basically, I feel like we're going to maybe butt up against this 390, 388 level unless we just gap below it, but I do think we're going to be hitting this 362 level again at some point, maybe sooner rather than later. Now,
You know who agrees with you? I saw an interview today. It was Art Cashin. He's like the head of trading, floor trading for UBS, I want to say. He was like, yeah, I think we're going to head back to the June low and retest it. So who knows? A lot of times these predictions are kind of worth what they're printed on or what you paid for them kind of sort of stuff. But yeah.
If only there was someone who said we're going to immediately bounce off the 200-day moving average. And if only there was someone who said we will hit 365 again about this day here. I don't know who that is. Let's go to
If it was only
CPI.
someone that put their money where their mouth was and bought some put contracts too to profit off this a little bit. I know it's not exactly your entire portfolio, but I'm just kind of curious. Did you end up actually with a green day, or how did that work out for you?
I broke even because my puts were so heavy. I should note, I bought in too early on these puts. I bought in when the SPY was at where it's at right now.
Okay.
Right, like 396. I pulled a classic Burry just to create extra stress in my life, just so I could go up to 420, cry a little bit, come back down, feel reassured, see what happens.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have plenty of downside still to go with these puts. This is kind of what the headlines you're seeing broadly across the entire market today, talking about how it's one of the worst days since June of 2020. Hot CPI report. It wasn't like exceedingly inordinately disgusting in any way, shape, or form. And this is kind of talking about how basically some of the big tech stocks were hit the worst, which is interesting to me. I get the logic behind kind of multiple compression when you're talking about the kind of this quantitative tightening cycle, which we're likely to see as a result of this from the Federal Reserve. But you're already talking about Meta being down with P like 15. Like why they need to shed another 10% today, which is pretty insane. I own Meta in full disclosure. So
We have a Meta vid coming out that's quite the bold claim by me tomorrow.
Okay, well, you might have a better opportunity to buy some now. Put it that way.
Actually, yeah.
This is that quote I was talking about. I think we maybe go back and retest the June lows. Is the UBS director of floor operations, Art Cashin. I remember seeing this guy, and he's like an old school CNBC talking head. He's been around for a long time, but it wasn't so much.
Sorry, had to do it.
so much the headline that was really kind of crazy because you're only talking about a 0.1%. The core inflation was what was a little bit more concerning here because we've seen gas prices come down, which is a major driver of a lot of kind of cost within other things in the economy. But we still had inflation on this core, which excludes food and gas going up, and so because you had energy going up extraordinarily high, you had what was the other one? Health, medical stuff going up very much so. So there's actually a crazy slide that I took out of the Bloomberg report here, looking at some of the individual categories. Yeah. I mean, outdoor equipment, 13%. It's insane.
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
It's up there.
And I actually asked my wife about the household supply one. I was like, do you feel like the supplies for cleaning the house have gone up like extraordinarily quickly recently? And she was like, I guess so. But food, we talked a little bit, it's not part of core CPI, still going up pretty dramatically, record near now 1979 record like prices. But this is insane to me too, this health insurance thing. The reason why I'm not entirely sure, the 24% seems pretty inordinate for health insurance. That's something that it is very large, right? It's crazy for it to move that quickly. So I want to actually look at where the data comes from this in terms of whether or not that actually there's something funky going on there.
This is from Bloomberg. This is a reputable source. 24 sounds I don't know about that.
Yeah. So I was briefly looked at a survey, and they were talking about 10% for health insurance. The other thing that's kind of a little bit funky right now is that one of the COVID relief kind of bills also had kind of a cap on what portion of your income you'd be paying for health insurance premiums, or people buying it through kind of the government exchanges, but that it doesn't expire until the end of this year. So we could see some kind of maybe increase in prices in insurance costs from that, but that wouldn't be until beginning of next year.
Too soon. Yeah. I will say having the annual increase next door to 4 records for historical inflation, not super reassuring. It's not.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, it is definitely not. And then Burry, of course, had to chime in with his little tweet. Yeah, as always, for those of you who've been on the channel for a while, know we follow Burry's moves. But basically, he's talking about how aggressive this is in terms of regressive tax on the cost of food at home. Yeah, increases pretty steadily for the most part. We've had some periods before. We've had like a little bit of run up, but the run up recently in the cost of this food at home has just been kind of going towards like a parabolic shape there, which is not something you ever want to see. That's
what we call increased slope. No big deal.
Yeah.
Dropping.
This is living high on the hog, right? This is people just cooking at home. This is like dinner in the kitchen. This isn't going out to some fancy restaurant. And when that's going up at this kind of exponential rate here, that's pretty insane. But yeah, definitely hurting people's pockets.
This is crazy, man. This is not good. I mean, once again, I know that I'm shorting the market, so I hope it tanks, but I still feel bad about it. So
yeah, I'm still a long-term optimist for sure, and I'm trying to take advantage of some short-term opportunity in terms of bringing it back towards a more normal pricing, because it's hard to imagine that we can justify the multiples where we're standing at now. That's why, like, in the short term, I think there's a bearish sentiment, but you ask me about a year from now, it's a different story. But over the next 6-9 months, it's still going to be a lot of pain.
6-9 months, I'm incredibly bearish. I'm thinking we hit 320, but I know that's very low, but I'm thinking we hit it.
Yeah, not unreasonable, I don't think. All right, well, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We'd love to hear your little comments.
Yep, let us know, and have a good one. Be safe. Stay tuned for that
one.
Facebook vid tomorrow. Oof, meta. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah.